Myself, Dr. Prashant Kumar Bodhi, Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, GIS College of Engineering, Kolkata. The subject topic is Advanced Welding Technology, lecture number 24, Weldability of Carbon Steel. Today's topic is Weldability of Carbon Steel. Definition. What is weldability? Two metallic parts of same or different metals mixed and fused when welded with or without applying pressure, with or without the use of filler metal, then the ease with which the metal joint will properly of joining metals or metals called weldability. The ease with which welding of a given material can be done without producing any defect is called weldability. Also be defined as the capability of a metal to be welded under the fabrication conditions imposed satisfactorily in the intended surface. As per the American Welding Society, the definition of weldability is the capacity of a material to be welded under fabrication conditions imposed into a specific suitably designed structure and to perform satisfactorily in the intended service. This is the flux core arc welding, that is basically MIG welding. This is continuous welding is performed. Tabular electrode is there. This is a tabular electrode, and this is the electrode height, and this is arc is performed, arc and metal transfer, and this is weld bottle, and welding. This is the welding metal, weld metal, and this is the direction, and this is the slag. Top of this slag, molten slag. This is a molten slag, and guide wire for contact tubes. This is the welding performance of a flux core arc welding. The meaning of weldability. Weldability is considered as the ease of accomplishing a satisfactory weld joint and can be determined from quality of the weld joint, effort and cost required for developing the weld joints. While efforts required for producing sound weld joints are determined by the properties of metal system in consideration, namely melting point, thermal expansion, defects inherent in base metal and surface condition. Therefore, weldability of a metal is considered as a relative term. The metallic material with adequate weldability should fulfill the requirements like contribute to good weld quality even with high dilution, have unchanged corrosion resistance after welding, should not be embittered when stress relieving. This is concept of weldability. Concept of weldability are number one, metallurgical compatibility of a metal or alloy to be welded with any specific welding processor. Metallurgical compatibility means that the base metal and weld metal can be combined with degree of dilution encountered in a specific process without the production of deleterious constituents and phases. Ability of the metal and alloy to be welded with mechanical soundness, and mechanical soundness must meet soundness requirement and normal engineering standards. Welding metallurgy and weldability. The topics of welding metallurgy and weldability are closely related to each other, since the weldability of the material is very much related to its microstructure. While the term welding metallurgy is universally accepted as a subset of physical metallurgy principles, the term weldability has been subject to a wide range of definitions and interpretation. In its broadest context, weldability considers aspects of design, fabrication, fitness of service, and in some cases, repair. Welding metallurgy and weldability, again, this broad treatment is reflected in the definition for weldability that are provided by both the American Welding Society and the ISO standards 581 to 1980. This weldability can be used to describe both the ability to successfully fabricate a component using welding and the capacity for the component to perform adequately in its intended service environment. The serviceability of the resulting welded joints. The serviceability may concern the ability of the welded structure and joint to work under low and high temperatures, impacts, etc. This is a SMAW, shielded metal arc welding electrode. This is a covered flux covered. This is metal core, direction of travel, metal and transfer, metal and arc transfer. This is the arc, slag. This is slag. This is A is slag layer. This is slag layer. B is a welded portion. And C is the arc depth. This depth, weld depth, and weld metal. T is the weld metal. Weld metal. F is a supplement melt actual. This is the description of the layer by layer is described. A, B, C, D, E, and F. This E is the line. This is a structure or welded structure or joint to work under low and high temperature impacts. The impacts are, this is the impacts, how it is being given. Factors affecting on weldability. Number one is a melting point of a metal. Materials with medium melting point can be welded very easily. Thermal conductivity. Material with high thermal conductivity K is treated as difficult to weld material. High conductivity. Difficult to weld material. Reactivity. If the material reacts with the air, water, and surroundings, it becomes difficult to weld. Coefficient of thermal expansion of metal. Materials with high thermal expansion coefficient, it becomes difficult to weld. Electrical resistance. Higher the electrical resistance of the material, it becomes difficult because it requires a lot of heat energy. Surface condition. The material with dirty surface, it becomes difficult to weld. Strength and brittleness of metal at high pressure. Composition of metal. Heat treatment carrying out before and after welding. Thermal properties of the metals. From the above mentioned factors, whichever the material is influenced by maximum number of factors, the corresponding materials is treated as very difficult to weld, and whichever the material is influenced by least number of factors, the corresponding material is treated as very easy weld material. Weldability of some metals in descending order is as under. Descending order. That means number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So one is iron, it's very good weldability. Number 2, serially, number steel. Iron is means pure iron, Fe, and the steel means it's a composition of carbon and steel, iron. And some trace elements of magnesium, sulfur, phosphorus, manganese, and silicon. 3 is cast iron, where carbon percentage is more than 2%. Number 4 is low alloy steel. Number 5 is stainless steel. Low alloy steel means 1% chromium or 1 to 2% chromium, nickel percentage is there, and low alloy. And stainless steel is chromium percentage is more than 12%, minimum 12%, but stainless steel. Importance of weldability. As per the weldability of base metal and electrode, metal mechanically sound weld without crack and produce. Therefore, to satisfy the need of design. Number 2, weldability is an important quality. The fabrication work is done using the metals having good weldability that gives strength of joint as per the design of the joint. If the weldability of the metal is good, then special type of welding process are not required to weld a metal. The weld obtained by selecting metal having good weldability does not produce brittle fracture. Good weldability reduces the requirement of preheating. Classification of steel. Steels are classified into groups as follows. Plain carbon steel, that is low carbon steel, 0.01 to 0.3% carbon. Medium carbon steel, 0.3 to 0.6 carbon, and high carbon steel, 0.6 to 1.4 carbon. Plain carbon steel contains only iron and carbon as main alloying elements. Traces of manganese, silicon, aluminum, sulfur, and phosphorus may also be present. An alloy steel is one that contains more than iron and carbon as main alloying elements. Alloy steel are divided into 2 groups. Low alloy steel, less than 7% extra alloying element, less than 7% extra element, that is low alloy steel. High alloy steel, greater than 7% extra alloying element. So less than extra alloy elements, chromium, nickel, and others alloy. It's less than 7, and this is higher 7%. Has than 7% is, that is alloying elements are more than that. This is the iron carbon diagram. In this diagram, this is eutectic point where the A3 and ACM is connected, and this portion is ferrite. This line is ferrite, ferrite plus cementite. As the carbon percentage increases, the Fe-carbide increases. This is a hypoeutectic, and this is hypereutectic. The carbon percentage increases, hypereutectic, more than 2%, or more than 1%. Hypereutectic. This is hypoeutectic. And the 723 point is the eutectic point. And the 885 is a higher than that. Alpha and gamma. Alpha is ferrite, and gamma is basically this austenity. And this portion gamma is plus Fe2, Fe3 is carbide. Cementite. This is cementite, iron cementite, and this is the portion. This portion is liquid, and here is gamma plus L. Liquid plus gamma means austenity. This is the iron carbon diagram. What already you have learned in the metallurgy or materials subject. So for brush up, this is given again. So how the welding is performed and the structure is changed. That from this you can understand. There is a diagram showing relationship between carbon content, mechanical properties, and microstructure and uses of plain carbon steels in the normalized conditions. This portion is perlite, levels. This is ferrite and perlite. This is basically carbon content 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8. This is this. And this portion is cementite. And as the carbon percent increases, elongation decreases, but brittle hardness increases. Hardness increases as the carbon percent increases. And the tensile also increases up to a point of 0.8 or 0.9. 0.8 to 0.9, tensile increases. After that, this to some extent decreases. This is the relationship between the carbon content, mechanical properties, microstructure, use of plain carbon steel in the normalized condition. Steel weld metallurgy. Carbon, major element in steel, influences strength, toughness, and ductility. Manganese, secondary only to carbon for strength, toughness, ductility, secondary deoxidizer, and also act as a desulfurizer. Silicon, primary deoxidizer. Molybdenum affects hardenability and has high free-phase strength at high temperatures. Steel containing molybdenum are less susceptible to temper brittleness than other alloy steels. Chromium, widely used in stainless steel for corrosion resistance, increases hardness and strength but reduces ductility. Nickel, used in stainless steel, high resistance to corrosion from acid, increases strength and toughness. Steel weld metallurgy, aluminum deoxidizer, gain refinement, sulfur miscibility, tungsten high temperature strength, titanium elimination of carbide precipitation, vanadium fine grain toughness, copper corrosion resistance, and strength. Increased strength, that is carbon, silicon, copper, manganese, molybdenum, also niobium and vanadium. Their exact effect depends on other effects such as the rolling temperature and time, amount of carbon and nitrogen present, etc. Hardening capacity, carbon, manganese, molybdenum, chromium, nickel, and copper. Toughness, nickel grain refinement achieved via the presence of niobium, vanadium, aluminum, titanium. Elevated temperature properties, chromium, molybdenum, vanadium. Atmospheric corrosion resistance, copper, nickel. Steel weld metallurgy. The grain structure of steel will influence its weldability. Mechanical properties, in-service performance, and the grain structure present in a material is influenced by the type and number of elements present in the material. The temperature reached during welding and or pre-weld heat treatment. The cooling rate after welding and or pre-weld heat treatment. Post-weld heat treatment. Sorry, post-weld heat treatment. Both are post-weld heat treatment. Cooling rate. Cooling rate of the weld zone depends on the following facts. Weld heat, also called energy, arc energy, is the amount of electrical energy that is supplied to the welding arc over a given weld length, an inch or millimeter. Thickness of material and preheating. Heat effective zone, the parent material undergoes microstructure change due to the influence of the welding process. This area, which lies between the fusion boundary and the unaffected parent metals, is called heat effective zone. This portion is called heat effective zone. Has. This is very important in welding. So less heat effective zone means less, that is good weld performance. Heat effective zones is a detrimental for the welding performance. But heat effective cannot be avoided for the fusion welding. Heat effective zone. When comes closeness, has, this is a has, this is has, and this is full is has, unaffected material, this is subcritical has, this is rise portion, this is intercritical has. This is and this is grain refined has. This is grain refining has, and this is also grain coarsen has side. So the has divided into 4 zones: subcritical, intercritical, grain refined, and grain coarseness. Heat affected zone. Segregation and burning, 1500 degrees centigrade. Coarse grain, less than that, around say 800. Fine grain, intercritical, less than that, then temper, then parent. This portion is called hash. This portion is called hash, and distance from fusion line. This is a parameter. This is well, and peak temperature. This is degree centigrade, 1500. This is heat affected zone. Heat affected zone. The extent of exchange will be dependent upon the following: material composition, cooling rate, fast cooling, higher hardness, arc energy, high arc energy, wider hash. The hash cannot be eliminated in a fusion weld. Arc energy, ampere, say ampere is 200, volt is 32, travel is speed is 240 millimeter per minute. The arc energy is equal to amperage into voltage by travel speed millimeter per second into 1000. So heat input is 200 into 32 into 60 by 240 into 1000. So heat input is equal to 1.6 kilojoule per millimeter. Heat input, high heat input minus slow cooling, low toughness, reduction in strength. Low heat input minus fast cooling, increased hardness, hydrogen entrapment, lack of fusion. Weldability can be defined as the ability of a material to be welded by most of the common welding process and retain the properties for which it has been designed. A steel which can be welded without any real dangerous sequence is said to possess good weldability. A steel which cannot be welded without any dangerous sequences occurring is said to possess poor weldability. Poor weldability normally generally results in the occurrence of some sort of cracking problem. Weldability is a function of many interrelated factors, but these may be summarized as composition of parameters, joint design and size, process and technique, and access. It is very difficult to access the weldability in absolute term. Therefore, it is normally assessed in relative terms. So many factors are there. So weldability, the absolute term, assess difficult to access. There are many factors which affects weldability. That is material type, welding parameters, amperage, voltage, travel speed, heat input. And the electrode parameters also, electrode type of electrodes, type of fluxes. That is also factors for effective weldability. Other factors affecting weldability are welding position, welding technique, and the welding position is horizontal, vertical, overhead, etc. There are several welding positions are there, and welding techniques. How the welding techniques are performed. Fatigue crack. Fatigue crack occurs under cyclic stress condition. Fracture normally occurs at a change in section, notch, and weld defects. That is stress consistent area. All weld material are susceptible to fatigue cracking. Fatigue cracking starts at a specific point, referred to as a initiation point. The fracture surface is smooth in appearance, sometimes displaying beach markings. The final mode of failure may be brittle or ductile and a combination of both. Fatigue crack, fatigue failure on a small bore pipe works. Precautions against fatigue crack. Tray grinding, profile grinding, elimination of poor profiles, elimination of partial penetration weld and weld defects, operating conditions under the material's endurance limit, elimination of notch defects, that is mechanical damage cap or root undercut, the selection of the correct material for the service conditions of the component. So we have taken all the measures. We have discussed about the weldability and its relative terms. So this is the end of this session. Thank you very much.